Hi, Susan.
Welcome. Today is September 29th, 2020. It's good to have everyone here. I'm going to ask Carrie Barr to come forward and lead us in the prayer and the pledge.
Good afternoon. My prayer today is the opening prayer for the Republican National Convention, and it seemed kind of like a good thing to pray today. Let us pray, and pray we must, as grateful citizens of a country we boldly claim to be one nation under God. Pray we must, praising the Lord for a country where freedom of religion is cherished, where both Republican and Democrats begin their convention heads toward lowered in prayer. Pray we must, conscious of those suffering from COVID, those weary frontliners who care for them, and all of us. Pray we must, for all the lives that may be protected and respected in our troubled cities and the police who guard them. In intense world situations where our men and women in uniform keep the peace, for innocent life of the baby in the womb, for our elders in the nursing care and hospice, for our immigrants and refugees, for those lives threatened by religious persecution through the world, or by plague, hunger, drugs, human trafficking, or war. Pray we must in thanksgiving. In thanksgiving, dear God, for democracy, We ask your hand, Almighty Father, upon this day and the nominees of both parties, and his wisdom upon an electorate so eager to perform its duty of faithful citizenship. Pray we do, for we dare claim in God we trust. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Karen. Do we have any guests today? Let's see, Tom brought his mom, Ruth. It's nice to have you here, Ruth.
She's a fixture.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. Are there any guests on Zoom? Kim says no. Okay, by way of announcement, first of all, I wanted to express our deepest condolences to fellow Rotarian Jim Hiddens, whose wife Joan passed away earlier this month, and services were this past weekend. I also wanted to let you know that last week's attendance totaled 48 people. We had 33 people present in person and 15 on Zoom, including 9 guests. Those of you who are on Zoom, please be sure that you update your name or list in the chat so that everyone knows that you are in attendance, because we are monitoring that. And also, if you're attending in person, be sure you write your name on the big sheet. Doug Gurvich has an announcement.
So 2 weeks from tomorrow, October 15th, we're having the first fireside chat that we've had in over a year due to many factors we all are aware of. It'll be out here from 5 to 6:30, social hour, 5 to 5:20, and then an hour, hour and 10 minutes for the fireside portion of it. All of the membership is invited. We'd love to have more than just the new members and their sponsors. So if you can, put it on your calendar. And like I say, it's 2 weeks from tomorrow, October 15th, 5 to 6:30. By the fireplace, right?
Thank you. I thank Doug and his committee for the work they've already done to prepare for that. John Fink has an announcement.
Thank you, President Giese. I received the donation list to date from Kim yesterday, and we've received $3,325 as of yesterday. So thank you everyone who's made a donation towards our warm coat drive. We're still waiting on 3 schools to let us know how many coats they're going to be needing for their students. And also I received an email from President Giese today from one of the school nurses, and evidently they could use some snowshoes for some students too, because they can't go out to recess if they don't have snow boots to use. So I'll talk with Rhonda Miller, and we'll see if we can get some snow boots for some of the students too, so that they can enjoy recess. So thank you very much so far for the donations. Keep them coming.
Yes, and thank you, John and Rhonda, for your work on this important project. Let's see, Kim has some announcements.
We wanted to let everybody know, I think you're aware that George Taylor has moved to live with his daughter in Wisconsin. And the board voted a month or so ago to actually make him an honorary member. So he's going to continue his membership with our club. And so his daughter, Nancy, thank you to John who linked us up with Nancy, his daughter. She's going to make sure that he gets information and emails and things like that from the club. So if you are on our Facebook page, and hopefully you are on Rotaries, you'll see that there was a video posted by MCTV, which was a short interview with George. And so it was really neat to have that. So get on our Facebook page and you can see that video of him as well. So that was cool. And I did share that with his daughter, and so she's going to show that to him. Also wanted to let you know we have a couple fundraisers going on at the Y. We've kicked off our annual campaign that we do every year in the fall, and that's to help us cover costs for people who maybe can't cover full cost of things like swim lessons, things like youth membership to the Y, things like programs like Live Strong at the YMCA that we provide free for cancer survivors. So we've kicked that off, and tomorrow we're going to have a coffee cake sale at the Y. So if you guys are familiar with Dave's Coffee Cake, and you probably bought them other places, come to the Y tomorrow and you can purchase your delicious coffee cake with some yummy fall flavors. And then a portion of that will go towards our annual campaign. And then also in just under 2 weeks, we're going to have our mystery drop. And that's something that we do every year. We drop a bunch of golf balls out of the sky, and if they land close to the target, you could win $1,000. And if you don't win, at least you've still made a contribution to the Y, and that supports our swim safety programs, which the Y has partnered with Rotary on, as you are probably all aware. So please consider purchasing a ticket, a chance to win. I did bring some tickets today. Amanda and Bob are on Zoom. They both purchased theirs online. You can get a link to purchase them on the Y's website too. So however you want to do it, we encourage you to participate. So thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Jackie Goodman is going to do another Rotary News and Information segment.
All right, I'm actually going to take you back a month to the August edition, because the goal was to start this in August, and so rather than moving on to October, I thought let's take a look back at August. And so the key word today is, and what drew me to this article is impact. The impact that Rotarians have on people, and it is endless. And the stories in this magazine are truly remarkable. So the story here starts with a young man who's 15 from India, and he was introvert, no self-confidence, and had a dream of building the least expensive home he could out of recycled products. And his family and his colleagues in India thought he was insane, but he was crazy idea. You're never going to be able to make this work. And he was able to take part in the youth exchange program for Rotary, and actually got to travel to Illinois and spend a year with a host family in Illinois, and had the exact opposite experience with the host family Rotarians that he lived with, and they encouraged him. They encouraged him to pursue his dream, and that it starts with education, and you definitely are capable of building the world's least expensive home. So he started a business as he was back in pursuing his education back in India. It was called Be Journey. This company took gum, so chewing gum, and paper waste, and developed these bricks that were used to build these homes. Amazing. He worked with a chewing gum manufacturer, used their scrap to make these bricks, built 70 homes that then transitioned into, there was a need for toilets, and believe it or not, these bricks were used also for toilets, which is what actually got him a little more notoriety, as these toilets were being put in rural villages, in public spaces where they were needed most. He then went on to develop the Eclectic Technology Program, where they used recycled products to make paving blocks, artificial wood panels, and then was named in Forbes magazine as being a top entrepreneur under the age of 30. I mean, his journey is just amazing, and without the encouragement of his fellow Rotarians, the people that he spent the most time with, he would not have gotten to this point in his life. And from there, in 2019, he started Echo Light Studio, which encouraged female entrepreneurs in India, and also started a Young Professionals Club off of their traditional Rotary Club membership, and now, has lots of financial resources and wealth to give back himself. And at the end of the article, he just states how important it is He's never forgotten what the memories that were created in Illinois. He still goes back on an annual basis to visit his host family and the people around them, and the impact that that had on his life. And now he gets to give back to others, being part of a Rotary Club in India. So I just wanted to share that story. Again, these are very impactful. Thank you, Mary, for giving me this assignment.
Thank you. I'm going to have more respect for chewing gum, I guess. It reminds me a little bit about matchstick marbles. They're an amazing thing to me. Okay, it's time for happy news, and I'd like to kick it off by congratulating Erin McGregor on the move downtown. We're all very happy and excited for you. Thank you. I also want to say how happy I am that we're updating the membership photos on our website, and thank Mark for his part doing that, and encourage all of you, if you haven't had your picture taken, Mark's here to do it today, or if you have a headshot you'd like to send in, you can upload it yourself on the website, or Kim can help you. But we'd like to get 100% on the website. That's kind of a pipe dream there. That'd be great. Is there other happy news people are ready to share? What about you cyclone fans? She said it was just expected. Okay, thank you. Well, our program today is Chris Knapp, and he's going to be introduced by Dennis Drager on Zoom.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker today. This gentleman has been in the Rotary Club of Iowa City AM since 1989 as a charter member of that club. He has served his local club as president, as treasurer, and he and his wife have served many roles in their club, but they are also truly connected with Rotary, the Rotary Youth Exchange. And Chris was very instrumental in bringing Daniel, our foreign exchange student, our youth exchange student, to Marshalltown here a couple of years ago. Showed up at our living room table one afternoon when we hadn't even made a full commitment that we were going to do this, but by the time Chris left, we had signed the paperwork and everything went well. So as well as his commitment to his local club, Chris has served District 6000 in many roles. Chris is a past district governor, now currently the District 6000 Foundation chair. This gentleman, along with his wife, have shown their true investment to Rotary through their service to both their club and to our district. I could go on and on about this. You should see the book Chris sent me to pick. No, that's a joke. But I will now turn it over to Chris Knapp. Please welcome Chris with a warm Rotary welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to see if I can get things going here with my share program here. Okay. Can you see the PowerPoint that I have up here?
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Dennis, for the introduction. Yes, I did write that, and he will receive a small donation to the Rotary Foundation in his name for doing that. I appreciate the fact that you folks are meeting both virtually as well as in person, and congratulations on that. I wish I was there. But over here in Iowa City, Johnson County, we're sort of a hot spot, and I really don't want to threaten your good fortune with bringing anything from the eastern part of the state. So I will stay here in my room and talk to you today about our foundation. And I do talk about it as our foundation. Yes, it's called the Rotary Foundation, but we are the ones who control it. We put the money into it. We put the money into it in 1 year, and then 3 years later, we pull that money out and start using it for our district grants and for our global grants. So it's our foundation. Part of the foundation's effort, of course, is the End Polio Now effort. And I think probably you are very aware that Africa has been declared polio free, with Nigeria being the last country, excuse me, in Africa to rid the continent of polio. And the hero of that, the lead polio representative in Nigeria, is listed as one of the 100 people to be noted by Time Magazine that just came out. So please page through Time Magazine until you find the gentleman from Nigeria. I'm talking about past, excuse me, present and future. So in the past, I can look back to Tom Narrick's year of Be the Inspiration. Then we, of course, most recent past, which is almost the present, which is Governor Aaron Morain's year of Rotary Connects the World, to Governor Steve's great theme this year of Rotary Opens Opportunities. And there's no doubt that the use of Rotary Foundation funds for our district grants and for our global grants is really an opportunity for your club, my club, our clubs in our district to do something great, to change people's lives, to improve the life that they may live by something as simple as offering books or computers or chairs in a hospital room, or anything along that line, or drilling wells in Tanzania, or training midwives in Nigeria to deliver healthier children and to save the mothers of children who are delivering those babies. So there's so much that we can do, and we just need to focus on the effort that the foundation does and learn what we can do by using the funds that we all contribute to the Rotary Foundation. As I drive around Iowa, as you drive around Iowa, many times you'll see silos near a farmstead. And I want you to think of these silos not only in the physical sense that they are silos, but also in the business sense of what silos represent, which are centers of influence. And one of the challenge of centers of influence in a business is if they do not communicate with one another, the business doesn't move forward. But when those silos within a business start communicating with one another, when they start getting on the same page, progress, growth, development, reputation, activities of the business grow. And as to that, I want you to think about 3 silos in Rotary: membership, public image, and the Rotary Foundation. There's a synergy between these 3 areas. As membership grows or remains stable, but when in particular grows, there are more Rotarians who have the capacity to give to the Rotary Foundation. As they give money to the Rotary Foundation from our clubs, that increases the money in our district and for our clubs to use for district grants and our global grant efforts. And as we use that money in foundation activities, those district grant projects such as benches along a bike trail, or fountains, or computers, or chairs in a library, or a freezer at a food pantry to help preserve food. When we brand those things and we let people know that it's the Rotary Club of Marshalltown that has done that, and they see you wearing your Rotary badge, they can start putting those things together, and they start asking the question, well, what is Rotary? I see your name everywhere. And that gives you that chance to use that 30-second, 1-minute elevator presentation as to what Rotary means to you and why you're a Rotarian. And then you can launch then into, why don't you come to our club? Why don't you join us in a hybrid Zoom meeting and see what Rotary is about? So that's the public image awareness. So With awareness, we have a chance to increase membership. With membership increasing, we have more people giving to the Rotary Foundation, and it's a wonderful spiral upward. And we need to be thinking about spiraling upward, because over the past 10 years, we have lost almost 600 members in our district. Yes, our clubs are bringing people in, but we are losing membership through a variety of things. The passing of members, of course. The members who have moved away from our communities and have not joined another Rotary Club in our district or somewhere else. Or a person who is no longer capable of being able to afford Rotary membership in our district. The fact that that Rotarian, that person who joined our club, no longer feels engaged in what our clubs are doing. So there's multiple reasons, and there's multiple ways for us to address those, and we need to do that. We need to grow our membership. We need to encourage members to give to the foundation, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about that now. This graph here is a representation of what our district has been doing with money contributed to the Rotary Foundation over the past 5 years. 2016-17 is one Rotary year, 17-18, etc. Also, how we have used the money that was contributed to the Rotary Foundation from 3 years prior. So let's just take a look at the bottom set of graphs, bars there, those 5 bars. That bright, deep red one on the bottom represents how much money our district gave to the End Polio Now effort in 16-17. Almost $110,000 just to the End Polio Now effort. Now don't forget, when we give to the End Polio Now effort, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches our $1 with 2 of their dollars. So that $110,000 became $330,000 going to the End Polio Now effort. And we need to continue to give to the End Polio Now effort to rid polio from the face of the earth, especially in, as we know, in the 2 last endemic countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. And there's a lot of challenges in those countries, and we need to continue to focus on that. And as we have learned with the coronavirus, polio, like that virus, is just a plane ride away. So let us continue to give generously to the End Polio Now effort. Now, the line above it, that very long line, represents how much Rotarians in District 6000 gave to the annual fund during that year. And that was $477,000 Rotarians gave to the annual fund in 16-17. And in addition to that, we also raised over $1 million for the Rotary Endowment Fund, the permanent fund. And the money that is invested in that permanent fund from District 6000, the income from that comes back to our district. And we are generating approximately $30,000 a year in income from the endowment. So not only do we have the 477, but we have $30,000 more. Now let's look at the 3rd line, or the 4th line up, that longer purple line there. That represents how much money came back to our district in that Rotary year for global grants and district grant usage. Now that is the total amount that was contributed 3 years prior to 2016-2017. And out of that, 25% of that money was available for us to do our district grants. 25% of that money we were using to match clubs' participation in global grants, and 50% of that money remained at the Rotary Foundation to match the district grant request for global grant projects. So 75% of the money that we gave 3 years prior to 16-17 supported global grants. 25% is what we use for our district grants. Now this year, by the way, our district grants, we had $101,000 given out in 30 grants to 29 clubs. I'm sorry that you folks did not participate, did not ask for money. I know you've been very busy with the reconstruction of Marshalltown from the tornado that came through, and of course the derecho also did some damage, and I look forward to you requesting money in the very near future of this coming year for a district grant to do something great in your community. Now, that very small itty bitty little purple bar, the third bar up from the bottom, that represents the number of Rotarians who gave that money to our district during that year. We now have about 3,500 Rotarians in our district. We used to have over 4,000 just 10 years ago. So we need to think about ways to encourage people to not only join, but to become engaged in the Rotary Foundation and all that we do with it. So I don't know if you're aware, but the Rotary Foundation now has 7 areas of focus for global grants versus the 6 from last year and before that. So let's take a look at this chart here, and we'll start at the upper left-hand corner, and that represents basic education and literacy. The one to the right represents maternal and child health care. Upper right-hand corner represents peace and conflict resolution. Below that, water and sanitation projects. Below that, community and economic development projects. To the left of that, disease prevention, and the brand new one in the far bottom left-hand corner, supporting the environment. These are the 7 areas to which global grants can focus on. And many times they have a focus more than just one. But when we write the grants, we want to go after the main one, and the other things are just gravy, whipped cream, the cherry on top of our request. Over on the right-hand side, you should know that in the past, over the past 12 years, our district has put forth 95 global grants totaling over $5.2 million with an estimated impact of over 900,000 people being served, having their lives changed by the activities of District 6000 in partnership with districts where the grants are hosted. So please understand that every dollar that you give is used wisely and has a great impact. And we'll talk about that in just a moment more. What we need to do is think about, how can I give to the Rotary Foundation? What are some ways that I, my club, our club, we as Rotarians can give to our Rotary Foundation? You can be an EREY. Every Rotarian every year give $100. 10 years of giving $100, you get that Paul Harris pin, or you get an extra stone in your pin for being a Paul Harris 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can become a sustaining member, have your credit card, have your checking account debited on a regular basis to the Rotary Foundation. Or you can just give quarterly, like through your quarterly billing that you have for the club. You can also become a bequest society. You can give to the endowment, that permanent fund that I was telling you about, that $1 million that we raised in 16-17. The endowment is where you list the Rotary Foundation in your estate plan, in your will. And upon your passing, money goes to the Rotary Foundation under the share process, and the revenue, the income from your gift to the foundation comes back in perpetuity to our district. Some of us have the ability to be a Paul Harris Society member, giving $1,000 a year. We have 90 Rotarians in our district that give $1,000 a year. That is so important, because those people help the rest of us who many times do not have the ability to always give that $100 or more a year. That is so important for us to receive. Major donors are people who have given $10,000 or more over time or in one gift to the Rotary Foundation. The RMD, the next to the bottom one, that's one that I'm going to be able to start using this coming year when I turn 70 and a half, or you can wait till age 72 to do it. But RMD means required minimum distribution, giving money that you are required to take out of your IRA when you reach age 70 and a half or 72. Give the money directly to the Rotary Foundation. No taxes are paid on that money. It helps you qualify for what you have to take out of your IRA. It's a win-win-win for everybody. So think about that if you qualify. One way of giving to the Rotary Foundation. The Rotary Foundation is part, of course, of Rotary International. And Rotary International has a mission statement. It's about 2 years old now. And it's something that is 24 very short words, but very focused. And it says, together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. I think we can all identify with that, with what we try to do and how we try to act as Rotarians in our community, as we are leaders, as we try to see and ask the people of our community, what can Rotary do here in Marshalltown, here in District 6000, and in the world? Not to be outdone, the foundation has its mission statement. And this mission statement wraps around those 7 areas of focus, those 7 goals that we can work toward. The mission of the Rotary Foundation is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. I think when you look back at that little diagram of those 7 areas of focus, you can see how the mission statement encompasses all those. And I think we can all take something from that mission statement and say, I know a project, even a local project, that really fulfills this, and we would be using the money that the Rotary Foundation has, that we have put in there, to benefit our community. I've been a Rotarian for 35 years. When I joined Rotary, I did not know of the foundation. But over time, my engagement in my club with district projects, club projects, also, of course, now my engagement as the chair of the foundation for our district, the understanding of the impact of global grants and doing these global projects in Tanzania or Nigeria, or the vocational training team, training of doctors, orthopedic surgeons of the Ponseti method. These activities have all increased my knowledge and increased my passion to understand that when we give a dollar to the Rotary Foundation, 95% of that money is directed right into that project. Our stewardship, our ability that we are volunteers in putting these projects together and in activating these projects. We have a 4-star charity navigator rating, and that talks to the effort and to the character of Rotarians and their stewardship of the money. We do great things with limited dollars and have a wonderful impact. And I've become passionate about it. And I hope that maybe some of my passion will come to you, and to understand how I use this last slide. We give because we want to and because we can. It's not automatic. We see, we feel, we learn, and we act. That's what we can do in a Rotary Club, with or without the foundation. But with the foundation, we do so much more. So I thank you for this opportunity to talk to you about our foundation, give you some look into our future, where we learn that we need to have more Rotarians being invested, being engaged, giving to our foundation, so that our district, your club, my club, can do more for our communities and for the world. So I thank you very much, and I'm open for questions.
I'm looking around, I don't see anybody with their hand raised locally here. Oh, Carrie has one. Would you mind coming up, or do you want me to rephrase?
Hi, Chris. My question is, you talked about things that would benefit our community, but yet it's called a global grant. Can we use these grants locally?
Thank you. That's a great question. Yes, District 6000 could be a beneficiary of a global grant, and it could even be from District 5970 could do a global grant for us, where we would participate. It have to be written with our help with 5970. They would be the sponsor. We would be the host club on that. Primarily, and a global grant, of course, is much larger than a district grant. The district grant support, as you know, is up to $5,000 is what we can receive from the Rotary Foundation to support a district grant. That's our limit that we have placed on it. And because of that, like I said, we went through almost $102,000 this year for 30 grants. And so I appreciate that. One thing I do want to mention, and I need to quickly say it, thank you so much for giving to the Polio Now effort, because you gave almost $2,800 to the End Polio Now, your club did, and you gave almost $6,900 to the annual fund. So please do apply for these district grants, to bring books, bring computers, give food or money to your food pantries, to your food insecure people, your programs and so forth there. That's your money. You have the right to ask for it back and to use it.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Anybody on Zoom? Okay, the question had to do with our ability to work with other districts. Is that on a grant request? Is that for a global grant? Yeah.
Okay. Local grants, that would, again, that would become a global grant with us. We do have a lot of cooperation with some other districts on our Poncetti method, our vocational training team efforts. Also, our Tanzania water projects that the Rotary Club of Ames has been spearheading. We sometimes have 3 or 4 different districts joining us in putting together a $300,000+ project to drill wells and put in the sanitary water systems in a few of the communities in the Same district of Nigeria. So we do encourage group efforts in these things, yes. You just need to work with us so that we understand what you're trying to do, and then we'll tell you what the parameters are. I think Dennis had a question. Dennis? I saw you raise your hand at one point.
Chris, that was my question about working with other districts.
Okay, okay. So on the same page. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
Well, if there are no further questions, Chris, we want to thank you very much for an informative program. We appreciate you joining us by Zoom and your enthusiasm for working with the Rotary Foundation and helping make those grants possible. I want you to know that also that in honor of all of our speakers this year, our club will be making a donation to Polio Plus and a worldwide effort to eradicate polio. And so a reminder to our members that, as Chris said, this donation is matched 2-to-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So we thank you very much for being part of
Thank
that.
you.
Next week, our program will be Dan Benson, who is the county auditor for Marshall County. And so you'll want to be sure to catch that one. Please rise and join me in reciting the 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I now declare our meeting closed.
Goodbye, all. Thank you.